Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I will continue my series of Monster High redesigns. I previously redesigned Frankie and Draculaura, so this time I will work on two of my favorite girls in the whole series, Ghoulia and Laguna. Just as a heads up, as I already previously mentioned in my other video, I have ever only watched the OG cartoon. I know pretty much close to nothing about the new series, so please do keep in mind that when I talk about the characters or their story, etc., I am exclusively referring to G1 Monster High and not the newest generation. Honestly speaking, if I think about the whole cast of Monster High, I like all the characters. Perhaps it's because the show is so campy and amusing, and everyone is charming in their own unique way. It's really hard for me to pick an absolute favorite. This being said, for some reason, Ghoulia and Laguna hold a very special spot in my heart. When I watched the show, I immediately liked Ghoulia. Her timid, shy, but extremely intelligent nature make her one of the sweetest characters in the show, in my opinion. There's of course a joke there about her being a zombie and also a brainiac. Also, her moments with slow-mo are so cute and funny. She's so cute, I love her. Now, her OG design is already perfect, it's peak, and as such, it is hard to improve on perfection. This being said though, I did try my best to rework her most defining elements in my own taste. Ghoulia definitely has some emo elements in her outfit, like, you know, the fishnet gloves, the layered top, the zip earrings and so on, which I really like for her. So I wanted to elaborate a little more on that. Now, as your resident sweater and baggy pants only friend, I am not very knowledgeable in fashion. So if I say anything wrong in regards to this topic, please do go on ahead and correct me. This being said, I really wanted to keep the most defining aspects of her design, which in my opinion are the red and pink accents, the fishnets, and of course the Converse shoes had to stay. The glasses I thought were also pretty iconic, so I decided to keep them and leave them unaltered. I just thought they looked good on her and didn't need any changes really. So basically what I did is I turned her layered shirt and crop top into one. I made the sleeves longer, covering her wrists almost up to her knuckles, and I shortened the length of the shirt and made it pretty much into a crop top, which made the underlaying fishnet shirt more visible. I thought this look would suit her quite well. I also changed the pattern of the shirt and substituted the cherry pattern with Ghoulia's skullet. I did want to keep the cherries somewhere in the design though, because I think they're not only super cute, but they also kind of complement Ghoulia's sweet personality. So instead of getting rid of it, I opted for adding two pair of cherries on the white collar flap thingy that drapes across her shoulders. I also ended up adding two belts that hang from those white collar flaps and go all the way to the back. These have no functional use and serve solely for decorative purposes. This is just my usual random decorative belts brain rot in action. Anyways, let's talk pants. I think Ghoulia's red pants were probably the only part of her design that didn't fully sit right with me. It's not like they were ugly or terrible. I just didn't really dig that dot pattern and I could not really understand the exact type of fashion they belonged to. So I decided to substitute them with some skin-tight ripped jeans, which are more scene-like, and I thought they would nicely enhance those emo vibes that were already peeking through her fashion sense. I also decided to swap out her keyboard belt, and I gave her two crossed belts with some chains hanging and draping around her hips. Now, Her high heel Converse shoes are definitely one of the most prominent and memorable fashion statements in Ghoulia's design. I've seen some people nurture some deep despise for Converse shoes in general, even more so the knee-high kind. But I truthfully love them, especially when it comes to our witty, ghoulish girl. Thus, the Converse shoes had to stay. I did controversially take away the high heels though, and went for some classic flat ones instead. This is also for the same aforementioned reason. I just thought it would enhance the emo scene vibes that I wanted to give to her. Aside from these big changes, I just added some small minor detailed clutter to her design, like some studded bracelets that match her belts, a studded hot pink choker with some sparkly gem decorations, some extra earrings and piercings, and some studs across her green headband. This is how Miss Ghoulia Yelps turned out in my style. I hope I did not butcher her too much since she's such a darling. Ghoulia stans, please let me know if I did her justice or not. Now moving on to another darling of mine, Laguna Blue. I think Laguna was probably the one character that I initially liked the most, probably because of her mature big sister type of personality that loves and defends her friends without holding back, without compromising on kindness and respect. Unfortunately, she seems to be a little less popular compared to the other members of the cast. Some people claiming that she's plain and boring, but to me she's an absolute darling and I love her a lot, which is why I was quite excited to work on her. Being one of my favorites, I was extremely tempted to give her the good old personal favorite character treatment by dressing her up with my own favorite type of girly fashion, like, you know, poofy skirts, frilly tops and such. But I fought the urge to indulge into my own temptation, and I did my best to keep what I liked about her old design and elaborate more on what I thought could elevate her character and personality. Laguna is of course the sporty member of the group, which is very clear from her OG design. She's wearing the classic hoodie, sweater, and athletic shorts, all elements that immediately tell you the type of character that she's supposed to represent. What I always found to be a little bit of a downside, I guess, to this stylistic choice though, is that her overall look kind of looked perhaps less visually memorable compared to the other girls. And this is definitely just a personal opinion of mine, but I especially did not like the hood pulled up on her head for one specific reason. Because of the 2D, almost a paper doll looking animation of the OG cartoon, the long, wavy, highly detailed and textured hair combined with the equally highly textured hood always looked kind of visually confusing to me, just too busy. And so I also wanted her to have a more distinct and unique look. Hopefully the Laguna stands will not burn me at the stake for this, but I did decide to kind of completely rework her sporty outfit and go for something that would highlight and enhance her sea monster nature more. First of all, I got rid of the hoodie sweater. I'm so sorry. I opted instead for a shell bra decorated with pearls and draped with some sheer pink soft fabric. I didn't want to get rid of all the elements from her original design, so I kept her sporty shorts, but I turned them into a skirt instead. I know a mini skirt does not qualify as a sporty piece of clothing, but my intention was not to keep it as an athletic garment, but as a nod or homage to her original look instead. I also changed her shoes and went for something resembling beachy platforms, I guess. I gave her lots of golden jewels around her legs, ankles, arms, neck, and wrist, along with pearls and seashells and starfish. I think all these details would complement her sea creature nature whilst also enhancing her cuteness and fashion sense. You'll also notice that I kind of went wild with her hair and poofied it to the max and added some braids here and there for good measure. I did really really like her turquoise highlights in her hair though, so I kept those. I ended up giving her a pink ombre too, just because I thought it looked extra cute on her. Plus it ties well with her pink shirt and pink bow in the hair, which replaced the pink flower in the original design. By this zoomed out time lapse, it might not be visible enough, but the freckles also stayed. I added some to her legs and arms too, and on top of this I added sparkles and glitter everywhere. Her skin, her clothes, her hair. You'll see it at the end during the final zoomed in view. Truth be told, this design took me a very long time because even though I did my best to do Laguna justice, I could not be satisfied enough with the end result. The rendering process took me an unholy amount of hours, and I actually ended up refining lots of details off screen while not recording out of frustration. Hopefully I did not commit a crime by changing her so much. This is how Laguna turned out. Her OG design will always be iconic and perfect, but hopefully my version is not too odd or unfitting for her. I think that if I were to see a doll like this on a shelf, it would most likely catch my eye, especially because of the huge amount of sparkly hair. I don't know, would you buy her doll? And here's how Ghoulia and Laguna turned out in my style. What do you think? Together with Cleo, these two are among my favorite characters from the show, so I tried my best to do them justice and give them a good new look. When I work on Monster High designs, I also try to think of their dolls' counterparts and ask myself what I'd like to see them wear as a toy and if I would actually buy it. I know that clothes and small details don't work the same way as reality when shrinked down to a doll scale, but perhaps they could be bigger, high-end dolls, something like that. Next up are Cleo and Claudine, whom I think will be the most difficult to design. If you liked the video, let Miss YouTube know by pressing the thumbs up icon. And if you're interested in sticking along for more redesigns, feel free to subscribe and join the fun. I'll see you guys next time. Take care and stay warm. Bye bye!